The 2018 NBA draft has come and gone with very few surprises unfolding throughout the evening. The top 5 picks of DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley III, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Trae Young were fairly predictable, with only Michael Porter Jr. and his slide to the number 14 pick as the only draft night shocker. Mixed in amongst the predictable blue chippers at the top of the draft was a mixed bag of talent. However, several of the late-round picks have the potential to become something special and blossom into legitimate NBA players. Here are 5 picks from the 2018 NBA draft that have the potential to become this year's steal of the draft. Number 1, Javon Carter, point guard, West Virginia. He was a second-round pick, 32nd overall by the Memphis Grizzlies. Listen to me. Write this down. Javon Carter will be the steal of the 2018 NBA draft. Carter is a tenacious defender who's been the NABC Defensive Player of the Year for 2 years in a row. He ranked number 5 in the nation in steals per game, was 12th in assists, while averaging 17.3 points per game during his senior season under Bob Huggins. When you see Carter play in person, his on-court intensity reminds you of what it was like to watch Mike Tyson enter the boxing ring in the late 1980s. Although he is just 6'2", he can intimidate his opponents on the court from start to finish, and he also has a knack for hitting big shots in big moments of the game. I've seen Carter play up close in person. The guy is legit. He will be a 12 to 15-year NBA player. Number 2, Chandler Hutchinson. He's a 6'7" small forward from Boise State. He was a first-round pick, 22nd overall by the Chicago Bulls. Hutchinson is a freakish athlete who plays much longer than his 6'7" frame. He was a 4-year player at Boise State, and he was named first-team All-Mountain West in back-to-back seasons. Hutchinson is an explosive talent who averaged 20 points per game along with 7.7 rebounds and 3.5 assists. Not too many people knew who he was coming out of a smaller school like Boise State, but when I spoke to ESPN's Jay Billis a few months back, he's been raving about this guy for some time, and he told me to look out for him. And then after watching him for a while, I think Hutchinson is ready to have an immediate impact in Chicago. Number 3, Grayson Allen. 6'5" shooting guard, Duke. He's a first-round pick, 21st overall by the Utah Jazz. Now, is there anything more Grayson Allen than him playing for the Utah Jazz? Regardless of what you think of Allen, he's one of those guys that is willing to do all of the little things to help his team win a game. He'll put his body and reputation at risk on certain nights just to help his team get the W. He'll never be an all-star in the NBA, but he's a guy that just about every GM and coach wants on their roster. He won an NCAA tournament in Duke and has played in big games against elite talent, and no moment has ever seemed too big for him. He can play in the NBA and will succeed. Number 4, Landry Shamet, Wichita State point guard. He was a first-round pick, 26th overall by the Philadelphia 76ers. Shamet was a little under the radar playing at Wichita State under Greg Marshall, and he was the heir apparent to the Toronto Raptors' Fred VanVleet for the Shockers. Shamet is an exceptional ball handler and distributor who could end up being the Sixers' starting point guard at some point if Markelle Fultz can't figure out how to shoot a basketball. Shamet has an abundance of young talent surrounding him in Philly, which should help him develop into a solid NBA guard. And number 5, Kevin Hervey. He's a forward out of the University of Texas at Arlington. He was a second-round pick, the 57th overall by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hervey can flat-out ball. He was Conference Player of the Year in 2017 and was named first-team All-Conference in back-to-back seasons. Hervey is one of those guys who may not be as big or as fast as some of the players drafted ahead of him, but he is just as good or better than any of them. He's another 4-year college player that already has an NBA body and frame, and he should be able to contribute immediately at Oklahoma City. He will become a productive NBA player for the next 5 or 6 years. Thanks for listening. I'm Chris McKee. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to check me out on Twitter at Mr. McKee.